I'm going to tell you a few things about me. When I was a kid, I lost in the finals of a state tennis championship because I told the truth about a line call when I didn't have to. I once climbed a tree to get somebody's cat down, then stayed up there the rest of the night just because it was so peaceful. My favorite food is strawberries and cream, only I don't tell the other guys because they'd give me shit for it. I also joined the 18th Street Gang when I was in the 6th grade. It's important what order I tell you these things, because the moment someone notices my blue and black bandana, they think they already know everything about me. I'm a sophomore in high school now, and last night was my first break-in. Spike, an old-school Mexican mafia type, was there to show me the ropes. He taught me how to map out the regular patrol routes of officers, and how to hide in a concrete drain pipe to avoid being seen. I'd never stolen anything bigger than a candy bar before. I was scared as hell, but I knew Spike was tight with everybody and would tell them how I did. This was my first real chance to let everyone decide what I was made of, and I wasn't going to Tobias Wade, Com 223 screw it up. Let's not do this one, it has an alarm system. Middle-class suburban home with a white picket fence, nothing that screamed a good target to me. Doesn't matter when they let you in, Spike said. He grinned. Just because I'm in a gang doesn't mean I understand gold teeth. They're disgusting. But someone's here. There's a light on up there. I protested. Let's keep looking. Maybe if we didn't find a good target tonight, we could just go back and play pool and try again another night. I'd be ready another night. How are they gonna open the door if they ain't home? Fuck sake, he said. Spike walked around the house and turned the garden hose on full blast. He found 2 more taps along the back of the house, and turned those on too. He waited a few minutes for a lake to start forming in the yard before ringing the doorbell. I wanted to stop him, but I was frozen. My heart beat faster with each light that turned on as the resident approached his front door. Who is it? Someone yelled from inside. Excuse me sir, Spike shouted. I noticed one of your pipes burst. Just thought you should know. The door opened. An old man, at least 80, stood there in his bathrobe. I never want to get that old where my eyes shrink down to little pinpricks and my skin hangs in loose folds like that. Spike gave me a grotesque wink. It did. Oh God, the old man said. 51 sleepless nights 224 yeah, look at all that water, Spike said. I was just walking on the sidewalk with my kid. He wrapped his arm around my shoulder, and I fought the urge to pull away from his sticky sweet odor of dried sweat. Yo, I said. We found which one it was. Here, come take a look. Spike didn't even wait for a reply. I wonder how many times he's done this before. The old man pulled his bathrobe tighter and followed Spike around the side of the house. I wanted to warn him. To tell him to run, to hide and lock the door. I couldn't turn my back on my own though. If this was going to happen anyway, I might as well be the one to return with some glory. The moment the old man passed me by, I picked up a rock from his yard and smashed it straight into his temple. He crumpled to the ground like a bag of dirt. Gold teeth flashed. Nice one kid. Now let's drag him inside so we can take our time with the place. I propped him up against the wall in the living room. He was still breathing, but there was a lot of blood coming from his head. I thought about bandaging him up, but I didn't know if that would seem like a sign of weakness. I just wanted to get in and get out as fast as I could. Snarl. Woof 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 woof. Shit, there's a dog, Spike grunted. The sound was coming from behind a closed door down a few concrete steps, probably leading to the basement. It can't get at us, I said. Let's ignore it. Tobias Wade, Com 225 nah, too much noise. Quick, go deal with it, he said. Deal with it. I didn't want to hear him explain. He didn't say a word, but that flash of gold and the knife he handed me, that was even worse. Make it quick. You're gonna be a man after tonight. I gripped the knife in my hand so hard my knuckles turned white. I turned away from Spike so he wouldn't see me shaking. I'm gonna go check upstairs for a safe or something, Spike said. Or cash under the mattress, these old shits think that's safer than a bank sometimes. That thing better be quiet by the time I get up there. I wasn't worried about it being a big dog. An old guy like this probably had a poodle or something, but hurting any animal has always been off limits for me. Being loyal to my colors over my own instinct, there wasn't any going back from this. I hated myself for opening the door. I was tense and ready for it to spring at me. I even slashed the air with the knife a couple of times until I found the light switch. I didn't see anything but a set of stairs though, so I walked down to find the miserable creature. Snarl. Woof 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 woof. Why is it still barking? I heard from upstairs. I don't know, I shouted back. I was staring face to face with a grown man, probably around 50 years old, stripped down to his underwear, and shackled to the wall with iron clasps around his wrists and ankles. His facial hair was thick and greasy, and it was matted in with the long 51 sleepless nights 226 unkempt black hair spilling from his head. Snarl. Woof woof. The man barked at me like an animal. He pulled against the metal restraints as he tried to dive at me, snapping his jaw and frothing into his beard. Then there was a flash of recognition in his eye, and he pressed himself back against the wall. His mouth contorted awkwardly, almost as though he was trying to say something. Don't make me come down there and do it for you, Spike said. His voice was closer now, like he was coming back downstairs. I dropped the knife and ran. I don't know what the hell was going on, I didn't care what was going to happen to me, but I could not be in that room. Spike was waiting for me outside the basement. What's going on? Did you do it? I just kept running. Straight out the door. I ran the whole 3 miles back to my house without even stopping. Spike followed me out. I don't think he ever saw the thing. He must have told the other guys though, because I got a 18-second beating for what happened. I took it like a man. I didn't even make a sound. I didn't tell anyone what I saw, or what I heard the thing say as I was leaving. Kill me. Spike was waiting for me when I got off the school bus today. He wrapped his arm around my shoulders and led me away from the other kids. I flinched when he touched me. Tobias Wade, Com 227 last night, he said. I'm sorry. I messed up. It's my fault, I replied. I'd already taken the beating. What more could happen? I get it, first timer's scary. But facing that fear, that's what makes a man out of you, he said. I checked up on the house, and there wasn't any police report or anything. The old guy was dead, but nobody's found him yet. Did you look in the basement? I asked. Nah, I didn't stay, but the 2 of us are going back tonight. We're gonna finish the job. How could I tell him? It would just sound like a lame-ass excuse. He'd just think I was scared, and I'd get beaten again. I just nodded. There wasn't any way out of this for me. I've already killed a man, so what's so much worse about killing an animal?